I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I'm Caden, aka the Prince of Pugilism, and I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Commissioner, $12 Bill.
And this is Crocodile Dun G. We heading to Australia, baby.
And it's the TBE. What up, what?
All right, so the first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our reaction to Devin Haney's unanimous decision victory over Jojo Diaz. And I'm going to start one off with the Commish $12 Bill.
Good fight, good showing. Devin showed a lot of heart. He showed that he can take a shot, you know. I was impressed with Devin Haney last night. You know, he wanted to mix it in. He wanted to mix it up. He boxed. It was a good showing. Shout out to Jojo. He started a little late for me, you know, but he started trying to bring on the fight. You know, the reach was a problem, which we all talked about during our predictions. We said that the reach would be an issue, and it was. And I don't think so much of the size is the issue, even though this is what Diaz's only second fight. I'm not sure. Second fight.
Second fight, yes.
Yeah.
140. I mean 135.
135, yeah. So you know, Diaz wasn't discouraged by the power of Haney. he kept coming forward, but Haney, he stayed in there. Haney showed a lot of dog and heart in that fight. So shout out to Devin Haney. I thought it was a good fight. You know, try to go out there and try to make it exciting. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It was a good victory, and you know, keep winning. Just keep on winning.
All right, we're gonna turn it over to Crocodile Dun G.
All right, so y'all, I'm gonna start this off by saying I'm Team Haney all the way.
G, man, they don't hear that.
I'm gonna hear that. I'm 100% Team Haney. You know, on this show, I've been going hard saying, you know, T.O. ain't undisputed until he goes through Haney. So I've been riding for my mans. But I have to be honest, I wasn't impressed at all by this performance. You know, Jojo, smaller guy, had like 7-8 inch disadvantage. And Haney, he allowed Jojo to not just fight off the back foot, but even had him in the corner several times. That bothered me a lot. Haney did do good with the body shots, but I'm just being honest, man. Clearly, the power isn't there because Jojo ate all of them shots. You know. Now with Jojo, I felt like, shout out to y'all, the Zone. Y'all try to paint him like he's like some type of killer, but let's just be real. He's a small guy. I know he was like, oh, coming up to 135, he's gonna be more powerful. This and the third. I didn't see that, right? So then I was wondering, like, yo, is Haney like regressing, or is he playing to his opponent, right? Because I'm like, Haney used to be defensively sound. In this fight, yo, he was defensively flawed. Like, there was times where he kept his hands too low, and even when he like tried to raise his hands, it wasn't placed in the right spot. He was getting clipped. You know, he was eating them shots, right? So I was like, man, they trying to make it seem like, yo, Haney's chin improved. I don't think that. I just think Jojo doesn't really have that type of power that he thinks he has for the 135 division. What else? There was a lot of things. I felt like that Haney would not beat any of the top guys at 135. Like, and I'm thinking this is my conspiracy G bag. I'm thinking he dumbed down his lyrics to go commercial. You know what I'm saying? Because I think what it was Kambosos was there. He had to paint the picture like, yo, I'm beatable. Because I'm like, yo, what this Haney? I haven't seen this Haney before. Like usually Haney is like sharp jabs, moves out the way. He's like more defensively sound. Now this time he's like, hey, I'm gonna stand right in front of JoJo in his punching range, and I'm exchange shots. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Right? So I didn't like that about Haney, and I felt like this Haney will get beat by Teofimo, by Lomachenko, by Tank, maybe even what's that kid's name? The Ryan Garcia. Maybe, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Ryan's up in the air. But I was just disappointed. But I will say this. I like all three judges' scorecards. This is the first time where I actually agree with every judge. Like everyone's seen it. Like I kind of how I've seen it. I gave JoJo round 4, round 7, and I gave him round 9. Right? One judge gave him round 4, round 7, and round 12, and then the last judge gave him 4, 7, 9, and 12. So I could rock with either the 117, 111 scorecard or the 116, 112 scorecard because that's exactly how I seen it. It was like round 9 and round 12, they were kind of like swing rounds. So I was like, like who you want to give it to, you can make an argument for either, right? So the fact that all three judges essentially seen it the same way, like how I seen it watching on television, I thought that was refreshing because we usually don't see that type of judging in the boxing world. So salute to those three judges, man. I would like to see them guys judge some more, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it was fair, even though the audience, like the crowd, was rooting for JoJo. JoJo just didn't do enough. And even in the 12th round, I would have gave it to JoJo if he at least gave another 30 seconds of work. He went hard for like a good 60 seconds. He's putting in a lot of work, and then it seemed like he gassed out, and I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you down, you losing. At least try get a knockdown to trying to make it like debatable, right? And then it was excuse me, it was funny at the end when they went to JoJo at the end of the fight. JoJo people was like, man, I know I lost, but come on, yo, it was closer than that. And I'm like, damn, that's bad, son. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if you want like this is championship level. And then I'm not gonna take nothing away from JoJo. I feel like I'm hating on him too.
Yeah, because I was gonna let you rock, but then I was gonna come in for a second.
No, go ahead, because I feel like I'm just hating on the fight. It was still a good fight. You know what I mean? It's like Diaz. It's not like he got washed. That's why it's weird because it's like he was competitive, but he was just losing the rounds, right? So that's why the scores sound so crazy, like 117, 111. That sounds like this dude's getting mopped. But that's not necessarily the case. It's just he wasn't doing enough to take the rounds, right? And so that's why I'm disappointed in Haney because I'm like, it shouldn't even be close like that. Like, Haney, you got the size and the reach advantage. Like, why are you even entertaining getting punched in the face by this guy who called himself T-Rex arms? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I wasn't really impressed by Haney's performance. And I'm hoping that this is just an act. Just so Kambosos could be like, yeah, let's go to, the down under and make this happen.
You funny, dude. So you think he dumbed it down?
Yeah, that's what
you think?
I honestly believe that.
I don't think he dumbed it down. You gotta remember too, like Jojo Diaz is not no bum. Like I agree with everything that you were saying. But it was saying that you were saying how he was a bum. Diaz, you don't become no bum. Like they was talking about like being an Olympian and you have to learn how to box. And he's never been washed. He's never been washed. He had a loss against Gary Russell. He's another boxer. And Devin Haney. He beat Tevin Farmer. He's never been washed. He went in there and he beat Fortuna. I was never really big on Fortuna myself.
No, I never liked Fortuna, bro.
But he went in there and he beat him when Ryan pulled out of that fight. Jojo Diaz, for where he's always been the small guy, and he always used his advantages, his disadvantages to his advantage. I think Devin Haney used his distance and really was up against a guy who was coming to win. You know, a guy who was really trying to come in there and, you know, I think he didn't have no respect for Devin. He didn't feel no. He was trying to go in. It's just the distance. Devin played it right. I think Devin used the distance at good times. You know, maybe Devin is not the most, don't got that pop, you know, but it kept Diaz from being reckless at times. You know what I'm saying? But Diaz has skill. Diaz is a skilled fighter. There's other fighters, you know, who go up with guys who have great advantages and they're able to have great showings against them. You know, Manny Pacquiao went against guys who had longer arms and who was taller and was able to use their advantages. In the past, Diaz has been able to do this. He just wasn't able to do this against Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney, he showed that, you know, the skills that we already know that he had. You know, but I do agree with you. Devin taking these shots from a Diaz, I'm not so sure that if he can take a shot from these other guys at 135. So I do definitely agree with you on that. I just don't want to take I don't want to crap on Diaz because Diaz has showed a lot of heart, grit, never been a quitter, always been a dog. Even when other guys came in overweight, he still decided to fight guys. He's always showed heart and always gave a full effort. He probably thought it was closer because none of the shots was hurting him. Mm-hmm. So he was thinking he was coming forward and he was pushing the fight and making Devin Haney go backwards, and he was getting hit with shots that wasn't hurting. And he feel like, you know, his shots to the body was hurting, even though, you know, Devin Haney was winning the round, scoring up points. He probably felt like his shots was more effective and stuff like that. And you don't know once you're
feeding into my conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe Haney was like, yo, this kid can't knock me out, so I could just stay here and exchange with the kid. Because it's like, why would he do that? I don't think he'll do that with Teofimo. I don't think he'll do that with the Tank. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, why is Haney fighting this way when he hasn't fought like that in the past? And remember, even with Linares gave him that work, right? But it's like, I understood why Haney did it for Linares. He's trying to make a statement, this, that, and the third. So he was kind of pressured by, you know, the zone and everything. Like, yo, we need a knockout.
I think of this fight the same way. Because that's what the whole buildup was, and that's what they was on Devin about, being exciting. Even Cambosis mentioned to him about being exciting. He wanted to stand in the pocket, and he wanted to exchange and show that, you know what I'm saying, his big boy pants on, you know what I'm saying, and show that, you know, he's here. And the whole thing was talking about was Devin's insecurity about his power. It was like they was watching Boxing Bros, like how we was talking about how after he went and was asking Linares about the power, they brought it up and had a whole segment, and it seemed like the guy was just saying everything that we said verbatim. You know,
that happens quite a few times. Even with the back comment, even when he made a comment about the back, I'm like, that's a net special, dog. Like,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So he said everything we said verbatim as far as, you know, with Devin's insecurity about his power and stuff like that. I think that altered in there. Like, Devin wants to show that he can bang. You know what I'm saying? That's his big thing. He wants to show people that he can punch. He's not pillow fisted. And I think that plays in the back of the mind.
I can bang with a dude that's like, he ain't really a banger. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, Diaz is a dog. He's going to throw a lot of punches. He's going to get up in your grill. But he's not known for like one punch knockout power and stuff like that. So that's why I felt like Haney went from a Talib Kweli to a Hove. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, I could just hit y'all with
here's what you said. G, here's what you're saying. G, here's what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You're saying that Devin said, if skill sold, truth be told, I'll probably be lyrically Talib Kweli. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense. If I did 5 mil, I ain't been rhyming like common sense.
That's my point.
That's what I think Devin tried to do.
What I'm saying, I know.
I see what you're saying, but that's what I think Devin tried to do. He tried to make it exciting. You know what I'm saying? He tried to make it exciting and do that, but he got to understand that Diaz is also a skilled fighter, and he's also an Olympian, and he's never been, you know, outclassed or washed by anybody. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I'm trying to wait until my turn to really go in, like, and follow the format 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 2, back to 1. Mm-hmm. But since this is open forum, my only pushback against that would be that Floyd Mayweather is the highest grossing pay-per-view attraction in the sport, in the history of the sport. and he fought that way. Mm-hmm. So that will go against what you're saying, like needing to sell out to or go against skill to.
No, I'm saying he was on his.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to G.
Yeah.
I'm with you because G's saying that Devin had to not use his skill and mix it up more to try to appease the crowd. And what I'm saying to G is that Floyd didn't do that, and he was the #1 pay-per-view attraction.
Hold on. This is a whole crooked finger interruption. Floyd definitely did that with what's that dude named Conor McGregor. Like, come on, son.
That's not Floyd. I'm talking about actual Floyd fighting boxers. Like, I'm talking about 49 and old Floyd. Anything after 49,
but
I'm not talking about.
But Floyd at least fought dudes that were willing to risk it all to win. Like, dudes was even willing to cheat to beat Floyd. Diaz, Jojo, salute to him, man. But come on, son. Haney could have won that fight way easier just by being defensively sound like he used to be. This new Haney is cool, it's cute, but it's dangerous, and so I just hope this Haney was for Diaz, not for anybody else, because these top guys will violate Haney if he fights like this again.
Anything to add, Dollar Bill, before we go to Ned?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to give Diaz his props.
Oh no, salute to Jojo, man. Good performance.
All right, Ned the TVE.
I do agree with G that Haney did look a little sloppy last night. Even with his even when he outboxed Jojo Diaz, his defensive IQ looked very low, and he was taking a lot of hits, and he was playing a very risky game with Jojo Diaz last night. One of the later rounds, he took a shot to the body where it literally hunched him over, and he caught himself. Right, and there was sometimes he looked wobbly when he was catching hooks and right hands and left hands to the face. So Haney, I'm gonna say, stop. Go back to the sweet science, man. Stop this nonsense. I don't know what you're doing and what you gotta prove. You ain't gotta prove nothing. All you gotta do is box. Beat these guys in the ring, and at the end of the day, you're gonna be the champion, man. So if you want to play these dangerous games, I swear you're not. George Kambosos, he's gonna love this style. If you go against him with this, Tank's gonna love this style. Teofimo's gonna love this style. Ryan Garcia's gonna love this style. Any of the top guys are gonna love this style that you're fighting right now. Like, you don't have to. You just gotta box these guys. You don't gotta be in here trying to trade shots. Your power's not there. But you got other. You built. You got you built better. I ain't even gonna say that. Pause.
This man paused himself for his thoughts. You can only imagine what he was thinking. He said, "Ooh, pause that." Oh man.
So Haney.
He had a pause his thoughts. That's crazy. So Ned, heaven must have opened up or something. Cause first time I agree with you 1000%, bro. So
yeah,
you Ned, man.
Thank you. So Haney, get it together, man. I don't know if you just need to talk to a shrink. You need some confidence or something like that. But you don't need. You don't need. He did it in his last fight where he trying to trade and he's like letting his hands down. He's not trying to get out the way.
With him, G? You
to a point. I agree to a degree.
Nah, bro, you took on everything he just said.
G, you just say he dumbed it down for the audience. No, he looked like he did the same thing in his last fight where he was just sloppy with his defense and taking punches to the face. Haney, you really need to get it together, man. Really need to sharpen your tool set, because right now you're looking real sloppy to me. Even with that performance last night where you won most of those majority of the rounds, and Diaz was still able to hit you clean in the face, man. Come on now.
All right. So, Ned, before I go, the $1 million question is, what you pause yourself for? Do you want to share with the people?
I'll share, yo. I was going to say he's built well in other departments. Pause.
Yo.
Man. Yo, what's wrong with you, son? Oh,
I don't think I would have told that.
Oh, Ned, you're killing me, bro.
Oh God.
Oh, Ned.
Yo, man, I gotta regroup. I gotta go. All right, so
that's crazy.
Where's my asthma pump?
Oh my God. All right, so normally when I rock, this is the part that completely gets overlooked. When I say I salute TC, I salute Kambosos for their victory, I salute Devin Haney for his victory as well. I think it was a hard-fought victory. However, was it impressive? To me, it's not what I expect to see from a Devin Haney. When I think of punchers in the 135-pound division, I think of Gervonta Davis. I think of a Teofimo Lopez, right? When I think of skill and boxing, I think of a Vasily Lomachenko. I think of a Devin Haney, right? When I think of athleticism, speed, power mixed with boxing, what some would consider a boxer puncher, I think of a Ryan Garcia and a George Kambosos in those categories. But it seems like Devin wants to insert himself in the banger discussion. He wants to insert himself in the power discussion. And you have no business in that discussion. And you shouldn't want to be in that discussion because that's not what makes you. I'll give you an example. Vasily Lomachenko. He stopped Nakatani, but he did it within the flow of his abilities. He wasn't trying to bang. He was trying to outpoint him. And while outpointing him, he landed the necessary shots where he said, okay, I can get this guy out of here, right? And the thing is, for someone like Devin Haney, who spent time in the Mayweather boxing gym as a kid, that's where he was all day, every day, and someone who idolized Floyd Mayweather, and you could even see it in his persona and the way he moves, right? It's like he didn't take away the greatest attribute from Floyd Mayweather, which was no unnecessary risk. Floyd could have had more knockouts on his record. Of course he could have. These dudes would stop punching. Floyd made them afraid to punch. But when Floyd made them afraid to punch, he didn't open up to try to knock them out. He continued to pot shot them and win on points. See, the thing with Floyd was, I'm already that dude. You have to beat me. I don't have to beat you. You need to beat me. And I already have a 7-round advantage. I win. Now you got to knock me down. Now you got to do whatever. I got a 7-round advantage. You got to beat me. And I'm just going to do what I got to do to win. Everyone going in the ring had to beat Floyd. And Devin, for me, the question with him is this what G's saying, like he's dumbing it down or he's trying to appease the crowd? Or is it that he loses focus, like, say, Amir Khan, and it's going to catch up to him later? That's the question for me with Devin, and I expressed it. That's my concern about Devin. Devin, he'll outclass everyone in the first 3 rounds. Because I had a 3-0, and then Diaz took the 4th, and then Diaz started taking some rounds on my card. Now, I'll say this. I had to fight closer than a lot of other people. I had a 115, 113. And for me, I think a lot of Diaz's work was being overlooked by the commentary, by the people. But look at the punch stat numbers. Jojo Diaz landed a lot of punches, and he made Devin miss a lot as well. And I think Diaz was landing the punches that were hurting Devin more. So you take a round like the 12th round, where I scored that for Jojo Diaz. You could score for Haney too. Now, this is the issue with scoring, and this is why scoring is subjective. And that's why when people act a certain way, like their scorecard is the greatest scorecard, it's like, dude, it's what you like and what you see from your vantage point, all types of things. But it's also this. If you can explain rationally, reasonably why you scored around a certain way, that's all it takes. We'll look at the 12th round. To me, the 12th round was a microcosm of the entire fight, which is you take the 12th round. Diaz hurt Haney with 2 really good shots early in the round. And then there was about, a minute, 20 seconds left in the round. Diaz didn't do no work, and Devin was able to land jabs and a few shots to the body, right? And now you're sitting there thinking, well, whose work do I like better? Because Devin did some good work for a minute, 20 seconds of this round, and Jojo Diaz did some good work for a minute, 20 seconds in this round. You see the dilemma. Mm-hmm. But for me, I scored a 12 for Jojo Diaz because he actually hurt Haney, visibly hurt Haney, right? To where I feel like he won that round. Like I saw the damage that he caused, right? Now you can make some arguments for Devin to score for him, like ring generalship, or he weathered the storm well. You feel like, he was the most active throughout I get that. But the point is, that round, you can legitimately score that round for either person. Right? So don't sit there and act like your scorecard is the best. That's the one thing that gets on my nerves. But for me, there were rounds where Diaz was actually doing the work. He was landing the body shots. He was hurting Devin. Yes, Devin landed more jabs. Yes, Devin landed punches to the body. But here's another thing I noticed, and I noticed it. So for me, I take it into account. Devin was punching Diaz low all night. All night, Devin was landing body punches below the cup, and he was getting warned about it, but he never got a point taken away. And I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, yo, that's low. That's low. That's low. So some of those body shots that maybe y'all were giving Devin credit for, I wasn't, because they were low. And come on, man, if you're just allowed to punch someone low, you'll never miss. So you factor in all the punch stat numbers that they gave Devin for those low body punches. If you take them away, the punches landed will be a lot more even than they actually appeared in those punch stat numbers. And that's something I'm keeping in mind too. I'm literally watching Devin hit him low all the time. And all the ref would say is, get him up. Hey, watch the fight again. Practically every body punch that Devin landed, the ref would say, keep him up. Keep him up. I'm like, do something about it. Do something about it. Devin, another low one, another low one, another low one. Devin probably landed no cap, like 30 low body punches, low blows on Jojo Diaz, and the referee did nothing. So I'm watching that fight. To me, it's a lot closer than the way y'all are scoring it. You want to try to call me names. I don't care. I don't do this for your approval. I don't do this to make you happy. I tell you what I saw based on my knowledge of the sport. You can accept it or not, but what you think isn't more important than what I think. And I'm not the one acting like what I think is more important than what you think. I'm simply expressing the fight from my point of view and my perspective. And I saw Devin landing a lot of low blows. I saw Diaz landing a lot of legal blows, and I saw Diaz bringing it to him. Now, I think the victory is unanimous. On my scorecard, Devin won. I think it was a unanimous victory for Devin. I'm not advocating that Devin lost the fight. I'm just saying it was a closer fight to me than what the scorecards indicated. That's all. If that makes you mad, boo-hoo-hoo. Now, moving on to what I got to say about Devin. I've been saying this about Devin for the longest time. I don't see why people would avoid Devin. Everyone talks like he's the most avoided guy on the planet Earth. But when you watch his fights, I think if I'm Ryan Garcia, I think with my speed, my power, I'll land clean on him, hurt him, get him out of there. If I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm thinking if Jojo Diaz can rough him up like that with my power, my speed, and my chin, in the quality of fighters that I've beaten, Richard Comey, Vasily Lomachenko, was in a close one with Kambosos, I get him out of there. You really think Kambosos was sitting ringside like, ooh, I can't fight this guy. I can't fight this guy. Y'all are out of your minds, and that's what I'm talking about. Yes, he's talented. Yes, he's gifted, but he is flawed, and G pointed it out. He got hit with too many clean punches. For you to be Floyd, you can't take them shots. So what I would really love to see from Devin is a fight where he sweeps an opponent like Jojo Diaz the way he did in the first 3 rounds. When I was watching the first 3 rounds, I'm thinking, that's the Devin I want to see. Let's see him keep it up. And then all of a sudden he got sucked into a firefight. You can't do that if you're Devin. That's not what makes you unique in this group. With the Tanks, the Ryans, the T.O.s, the Lomas, the Cambosis, and anyone else I forgot who may be in that division because it's a stacked division, what makes Devin unique is we think he might be the most talented, skilled boxer. Be the most talented, skilled boxer. Hit and do not get hit. He's talking about, oh, they said I didn't have a chin. You didn't get your chin tested because you got punched by Diaz. You get your chin tested when you get punched by Tio. You get your chin tested when you get punched by Tank. You get your chin tested when you get punched by Vasily Lomachenko when he lands one of them clean counters on you. You didn't have your chin tested last night. In fact, it's scary to see you get hit by Diaz, knowing that Vasily is faster, slicker, more agile. And this is, if you get in the ring with that guy, I have reservations, and that's what I'm talking about. And I'll close with this. Before Devin was ever a thought on the scene and everyone was riding with Devin, me, Trill Dollar Bill, G, we actually were talking about him and the prospect of this guy being one of the great champions because we knew about him from when he was a kid in the Mayweather boxing gym. We knew about him when he turned pro at 17. He got the exception to do that, and he was in there fighting. We saw his skill set. We were all amazed, and we marveled at his skill set. Notice the word that I'm saying is skill set. In the last few rounds, what I saw from Devin was something I never wanted to see from him. I watched Devin to see the sweet science. I watched Devin to see, the matador tame the bull. I watched Devin to see him make these great fighters look ordinary. Jojo Diaz did not look ordinary against Devin Haney, and that's what scares me. And so if that makes me whatever y'all want to call me, so be it. Wasn't really impressed, but it was a good victory. He earned it. He proved a lot. He showed he's a dog. But is that what we want to be saying about Devin Haney at this particular point in time when you're fighting a Jojo Diaz?
Yeah, and also can I just add one thing? And this is me keeping it 1,000. I used to always say Haney and Loma need a fight. Now I'm like, Haney, I think you dodged a bullet, fam. Because I'm honestly, even Cambosis, I think Cambosis is gonna violate Haney if he fights like this.
Cambosis was like, let's go to Australia. Not first title defense. Not first title defense.
You know what Cambosis said that was even worse? When they asked him about Devin, he said, look, it's his night. I don't want to ruin it. That told you everything you needed to know.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Cambosis, man, is winning me over, man. He's a solid dude. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We're just getting started. We're the Boxing Bros.
You're welcome.